Hello and welcome back to another video or audio if you're listening in an audio format. My name is Justyna. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or listener, welcome back and thank you for joining me today. So here today I'm going to talk about the full moon coming up in the sign of Capricorn at 18 degrees. So before we move any further, I just wanted to let you know that if you haven't seen my update yet, and just so we know, we can also connect via email, Substack. You can join my monthly newsletter and actually send out astrological updates quite frequently these days as well. So here, if you haven't seen or heard this month and next, so July and August, I'll only be posting videos about full and new moons. And in September, I'll come back with a fresh perspective, new ideas, and we'll take it from there. So, thank you very much for your patience and for your support. And today we are going to talk about the full moon in Capricorn happening on the 10th of July at 18 degrees. A full moon occurs when the sun and the moon are in the opposing signs. And this is when the moon is fully illuminated, our emotions, our feelings are heightened during this time. So what happens with a full moon? We gain clarity, we gain a momentum, things become clearer. There is such a mix of energies in the air. Of course, Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Uranus has literally just shifted into Uranus into Gemini, yes, and we've got Mercury about to station retrograde as well, Saturn as well in a couple of days. After the full moon. So there is such a mix of energies happening this month. And the best way to understand what can happen during a full moon is to think and look back into the new moon energies connected to this full moon. Of course, many of you know I like to follow the gestation lunar cycle, which lasts 2 years and 7 months. That would take us to January 2024. So think about what you started, what you initiated in the area of structure, success, boundaries and responsibility. So if you know where Capricorn is in your chart, and if you can think back into January 2024, see what you started, what you initiated in that area of your life, then here during this full moon, you might see your hard work showing some really interesting fruits. And this could be a payoff your hard work, depending on your circumstances. Of course, we'll look at it in a moment in the all signs part of this video. Now, if your birthday is on the 12th, then if your birthday is on the 10th of July, happy birthday. It could be the 9th, the 10th, 11th, sometimes because of the leap year. Sometimes in the solar return chart, you see a day earlier or a day after, being the date of the solar return. So here it could be the 9th and 11th. If this is your birthday this year, then happy birthday. This coming year will be really, really significant for you because very often when our birthday falls on a full moon, then that means we often go through some major shifts in our lives, close some chapters, go through some endings as we prepare for a brand new beginning to occur in our life. All right, so here, if you have any placements in one of the cardinal signs, and that will be, of course, Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra, then here you will be under a greater influence of this full moon. This is a cardinal lunation, which means it's action oriented. Cardinal signs are signs that are connected to action because the cardinal signs begin each and every season. All right, so I'll share my screen with you now so that you can see the chart for this full moon. But then when we move to the forecast for each rising sign, you'll just see me. All right, so let's look at some basics. Well, it's an overview, let's call it, of this full moon, and then I'll discuss each sign in more detail. So, as I mentioned earlier, of course, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. Of course, it's also an earth sign ruled by Saturn. So, Saturn, the planet connected to karma, karmic lessons associated with structure, boundaries, long-term vision. Saturn here generally urges us to take responsibility for what we are creating. What does success truly means to you? And this is also a time to let go of any distractions. It's about focusing our energies on what truly matters. Now, this is generally an ideal time to think about whatever that you're creating, whatever that we are creating, especially associated with the area activated in our chart, whether this is your business, your career, your relationship, your family, your emotional foundations, whatever that you're trying to create and build at this point in your life, does it truly reflect your values? Are you shaping and creating this new goal, idea, business, home that is based on what you truly want? Or perhaps are you trying to fulfill someone else's goals, expectations? Now, generally, here with the moon in Capricorn, the moon in Capricorn is. This isn't the most comfortable placement for the moon. The moon in astrology represents our emotions, our instincts, nurturing, motherly energy. And here with the moon in Capricorn, our emotions tend to be processed internally. So this is generally a placement that is connected to having that need to be in control of our life or our destiny. It's about keeping everything together. Now, here, since the full moon carries a very different energy to the new moon, of course, new moons are about new beginnings, while full moon bring very often here it is connected to culminations, resolutions, letting go, but it can also bring up some deeply rooted or buried feelings, emotions, especially those connected to responsibility, fear of failure, for example, fear of letting others down, or perhaps here a fear of reaching a point of burnout if we don't respect our own boundaries, if we don't control our energies, for example, as well. So with this full moon, we've got a few aspects as well, as you can see. We've got a supportive trine to Mars, Mars in Virgo, and of course, also the South Node is in Virgo as well. And simultaneously, we've got a sextile to the North Node in Pisces. So these supportive energies are really motivating us to take action. But there's a lot of practical energy in the air. It's not about overcomplicating the matter and falling into the mode of, being overly a perfectionist. So at the same time, since the energy of a full moon overall, and here we are still in the Virgo and Pisces cycle this year. Next year we start a brand new cycle of um, Aquarius and Leo. What this energy and this full moon is allowing and helping us to do is to let go of this belief that our worth is strongly perhaps connected to being useful, to being perfect, for example. And of course, let's not forget, Pluto is now retrograde, reaching those very, very early degrees of Aquarius. Uranus has literally just entered Gemini. So we've got this lovely harmonious trine between these two slow-moving generational planets. Both Pluto and Uranus form a harmonious sextile to Saturn and Neptune, also at a very early degree of Aries. So this is a very, very, very unique and a very rare occurrence because it's kind of reflects of what's happening in the world. Things are collapsing, new systems are being built, yet it's still early days. We don't yet know where it will all take us. So we've got lots of innovative, transformational energy here with Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and of course, lots of courageous energies with spiritual aspect of both Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So this also indicates this major shift um, in mindset on a collective level, but at the same time, this full moon also opens brand new perspectives. So this is an amazing opportunity, if you will, to generally choose a direction, follow a vision that can truly empower us, that feels in alignment with the direction that we want to be moving towards. So it's a really interesting full moon because we've got this amazing opportunity to let go of any emotional baggage, negative energy connected to over responsibility or pressure, or perhaps a fear of visibility, fear of success. And we can turn it into something that generally is more connected or closer connected to our souls and is defined on our own terms. All right, so let's have a look now what this full moon means and brings for each rising sign. You can watch it also for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture, but definitely for your rising sign first. All right, so let's start from Aries. Aries, for you, this is a very important full moon, of course, because it's happening in your area of career, professional life, growth, development, your long-term ambitions. The reason for that is because, of course, with that Capricorn energy, this isn't about looking at your life, at your purpose, at your life calling, at your career from a shorter angle. Here, this is about generally making decisions, plans that will have a long lasting effect and influence. So that's here the energy of Capricorn, lasting energy. And here that's your 10th house, so that's your calling, your life direction, your profession. So something is generally coming perhaps to a culmination in your area of career, life calling, life direction. Something needs your attention. Perhaps you're moving into the next level. And this could be a time when you have this really, really strong realizations about generally what is it that you want, whether you're heading in the right direction or perhaps whether something needs to change. And if so, then what? So really interesting energies, of course, connected to your career and professional life growth and development. Mars is still in Virgo at this time. So usually with Mars in the sixth house, daily life truly, truly picks up. But this is also a great time for physical activity. Um, Mars in the sixth house tends to speed up our metabolism. So if you want to get fitter this month, if you want to start exercising, then this is a great month for doing so. In fact, you should implement some physical activity into your daily reality. Now, at the same time, with this full moon, I think this is also a good time for letting go of any negative beliefs that stop you from moving forward in your public life, outside world, career. A fantastic time. And what I also wanted to let you know about is that, of course, Uranus is in your third house now as well. Just temporarily, of course, more permanently from next year. This is a time overall of a major shift in your thinking, of your mindset. And generally here, this energy could really revolutionize the way you see your life, the way you think. So this major shift of your mindset, new ideas, innovative. This energy also has a huge influence on how you communicate, how you think, how you connect with others. For many people, this could indicate working online, working perhaps through technology, for example, but on a very different scale. Now, this could also indicate a major shift within your community surroundings as well. And so that's, I thought I would just cover a little bit because, of course, you've got Saturn and Neptune in the first house. So you're going through this major, major shift. But of course, this year is just a short lasting influence, a preview, if you will, just to show you what you can expect to happen, see take place in the near future next year, more likely. But overall, at the time of this full moon, you're dealing with your public life, career, making major decisions, letting go of what doesn't serve you, and redefining generally what success truly means to you as well. All right, so that's what I've got for you today about this full moon. Let's have a look at the next sign. So that's Taurus. Taurus, welcome. I'm here shifting the chart for myself so I see how the planets are positioned within the chart. Now, this full moon activates your ninth house, of course. This is your life purpose. This is your mindset. A great time for engaging in personal growth development activities as well. This is generally when you are going to be reassessing your mindset, your beliefs, and anything to do with your worldview, your perspective on life. With this full moon, you might gain more clarity when it comes to the direction that you should be heading. The moon is fully illuminated in this area of your life. Very often here, we gain a bigger picture, a fuller picture in terms of which way to go, which direction to take. This could be a culmination of a major learning journey as well for you, or perhaps a major legal case, and here, or anything to do with legal documents, visa or passport applications. This is all very much highlighted as well. And of course, a time to let go of any outdated beliefs, outdated life philosophies, whatever doesn't serve you. Perhaps you're publishing a book, perhaps you're launching a new business, perhaps you're becoming a coach, a guide, a teacher. This is all very much here influenced by the energies of this full moon, but at the same time, we've got a lovely connection with the nodal axis, and this also indicates that here that need to let go of any beliefs, limiting beliefs, especially that stop you from spreading your wings, that stop you from growing as well. This could also indicate perhaps a new connection, someone inspirational who could really motivate you to move forward with a certain goal that you were unsure about, but perhaps you just needed that encouragement to move forward with it. And we've got Mars in the sign of Virgo at this time as well, and that's your fifth house. So there is motivation to engage in things that perhaps excite you, that bring fulfillment. So there is this Mars is encouraging this energy for you. But here, great time for traveling, for understanding your purpose, for gaining clarity in terms of which direction you should be heading towards, and let go of what no longer serves you, whether these are some negative limiting beliefs or some limiting life philosophies, for example, as well. Thank you very much, Taurians. Now, Geminis, welcome. Geminis, this is happening in your eighth house, so a pretty vulnerable full moon for Geminis because the moon feels pretty fragile in this area of the birth chart. What this means is that try to find, especially if you feel anxious, worried, or if you're overthinking something, try to find a way to distract yourself, engage in activities that bring you fulfillment, joy, something of a deeper nature. You need to fulfill those deeper feelings and emotions because you are reactive at this time. Your intuition is very, very strong, but here you might be facing some situations, memories, even feelings connected to power struggles, jealousy, perhaps anything that makes you feel vulnerable. With the eighth house, sometimes we need to face our shadow, face our fear in order to understand it and let go of it, eliminate it. With the full moon, this could be also about a career in insurance or in accounting, for example, banking, anything to do with other people's money. Or perhaps this could be about repaying a debt, or perhaps receiving a payout from an insurance company. So you might be dealing with insurances or mortgage applications, but this isn't something brand new. A full moon is a point of release, letting go, a time when we find solutions to our problems, when we gain clarity as well. But there is a lot of healing energy as well with this full moon. So thank you very much, Geminis. And let's have a look at Cancers. Cancers, welcome. This full moon will take place in your seventh house, so your relationships, one-to-one connections, partnerships. This is what is highlighted at this time. So this could be a turning point in your relationship with another person. It doesn't have to be marriage or a romantic relationship. This could be a platonic relationship. This could be a business connection or yourself and a client, this kind of connection as well. So generally here, a great time for letting go of any old patterns, unspoken expectations, for example, any tendencies connected to people pleasing as well. So we are generally, it's a time of letting go of these negative tendencies, especially since the nodes are activated. So a great time for letting go of what no longer serves you, and when it comes to any connections, relationships, but also here you might be more aware of certain dynamics, especially what isn't working and what is. And if you truly care about certain connections in your life, then why not work on perhaps fixing them, especially since during this full moon you gain a momentum, a clarity. So we've got Mars in the third house as well. Mars in the third house gives you the courage to speak from your heart, openly, honestly, in a practical way. And the South Node in Virgo, where also Mars is present, the South Node here helps you to let go of any tendencies connected to overthinking. This is a big generally theme with the South Node transiting the third house. A great time to work on your mindset. Any tendencies connected to negative thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing, for example, as well. Now, here with the full moon, also a great time to think about the boundaries. Are you generally happy with with the boundaries? Are you able to set clear and healthy boundaries in relationships in your life overall? If not, that it will become visible, noticeable at this time as well. And of course, Jupiter is in your first house for the next 12 months. A wonderful time for growth, for visibility, for regaining confidence as well. It's not going to be always amazing. I'm a Cancer sun, and Jupiter has brought an ups and downs. It's not all unicorns and butterflies. It's basically a lot of elimination, letting go until you actually get those rewards that are often associated with the energy of Jupiter. But this is just the beginning. All right, so thank you so much, Cancers. Let's have a look at Leos. Leos, welcome. Okay, so Leos, this is happening in your area of the sixth house. So the sixth house, this is your health habits, this is your work responsibilities. This is, of course, also your lifestyle, daily life, small pets. Now, a full moon is when we get clarity about something that perhaps was unclear, something that we may have overlooked, as well. Now, Mars is in your second house of Virgo, where also the South Node is present. We are in a South node in a Virgo and the North Node in a Virgo cycle. So, what does it mean? With the South Node until mid 2026 in the sign of Virgo in your second house, you've got this amazing opportunity to let go of any negative habits that block you from achieving financial success and fulfillment. Something feels out of sync during this time here, especially in your daily reality, at your work, in your everyday life overall, then this is a clue. This is a signal from this full moon. This full moon will illuminate, will let you know in one way or another, that something isn't working, especially if you feel like, some things are not as they should be. Some things are out of sync. Now, for some, this could also mean that you will reach a turning point, perhaps even a burnout. You might have these realizations that perhaps you've been overextending yourself. You've been perhaps overly engaged in certain activities without respecting your own energy levels, without looking after your own well-being. Now, at the same time with this full moon, for some, this could be about a job offer, some news, some rewards, seeing fruits of your hard efforts, for example, as well. Now, with the sixth house activation, very often we have this stronger need to go for a blood test, to look after our health, our diet. So you might be actually very stimulated to generally reevaluate your diet, what you eat, for instance, as well. And with the connection of this full moon to the South Node, and interestingly here, the South Node in the second house connected to the thyroid and the throat, traditionally associated with the energy of Taurus. So here, with the second house being activated here, yes, you might be reviewing, reassessing what you eat, what you put into your body, literally, but at the same time, with the second house being also the house of self-worth and self-esteem, this is also an amazing opportunity to let go of any outdated beliefs, negative thoughts connected to self-worth, connected to your ability to attract wealth, to make money, to attract success. Now, at the same time, this full moon also connects to to the North Node in Pisces in your eighth house by a sextile. So there is a lot of healing energy as well. It looks like lifestyle changes might be on the horizon, and generally some strong realizations, especially if you think you've been overextending yourself recently, especially if you feel like you neglected your health. It might become very visible and noticeable at the time of this full moon. All right, so thank you so much, Leos. Now let's have a look at Virgos. Virgos, it's a big year for you. It's of course, we've got two eclipses this year in your sign, a lunar and then a solar in September. And now we've got a Capricorn, a full moon in the Earth cardinal sign of Capricorn, activating your area of fun, self-expression, creativity, romance, children. So this full moon here, of course, with the connection to the South Node in your first house and the North Node in your seventh house. So of course, there is this need to let go of what blocks you from fully expressing yourself, from fully expressing your creative urges. So generally here, any fears, for example, of visibility, of judgment, and of feeling inadequate here, might suddenly become more visible. But this is your opportunity to let go of them, to release them. Now, this is a time to generally engage in some creative activities. Maybe you will finally see fruits of your hard efforts, especially if you invested a lot of time and energy into a specific project, goal, idea. Remember, full moon connects to the new moon. So think what you started, what you initiated, maybe a business, maybe a new hobby, project, interest, a romantic relationship around 18 months ago. Because during this full moon, You might see some really interesting fruits of your hard efforts. Things might become clear. Perhaps this could be about some really strong and new realizations as well. But this full moon also reminds you that perhaps if there isn't enough fun and joy in your life, then perhaps the time has come to find it. Now, at the same time here, with that Virgo energy south node being activated, this is a time to let go of perfectionism or of over perfectionism. This is about being more authentic, more in tune with your inner self. This is a full moon to show off your skills, to show off your work, to be heard, to be seen, and without being overly critical of yourself, of oneself, without being overly judgmental of oneself, or perhaps without having too high expectations of oneself either. Now, during this time, this could be also related to your children. They might need your support. They might be need your help. They might be more present, more visible in your reality. But usually with full moons, this could be connected to some major realizations, decisions, if this isn't related to any business or project idea. Maybe this is about a major decision that you'll be making with your children regarding their future, for instance, as well. But overall, here with the full moon in the fifth house, very often this is a great opportunity to heal the inner child. And with the south node being activated in your first house of Virgo, a great time to let go of and release any tendencies connected to self-criticism, for example, fear of judgment. Thank you so much, Virgos. Now let's explore the energies of Libra. Libra's welcome. We've got a full moon activating your fourth house. So here, your roots, your emotional foundations are activated at this time, your family. And here with this full moon, think about what you started, what you initiated around January 2024. Perhaps this could be related to a brand new chapter that started around that time. Maybe someone moved in, or you moved in with someone. Perhaps you purchased a property. Perhaps those that was connected to some major renovations. Perhaps you separated with your partner, and you started a brand new chapter at your home. So it could be very like many different scenarios. But whatever it is, this full moon deeply influences your emotional side of your life. So it's a good full moon to stay at home, or to be at home at least a little bit. You will need that nurturing, private, emotionally driven energy to be satisfied in one way. But there's a need for comfort. There's a need for privacy. And with this full moon, you might feel really driven, depending on your circumstances. You might be driven to find more comfort at your home, to move, to relocate, to renovate, for example. And generally, you might be asking yourself, you might be wondering whether you're happy at your home, or whether something needs to change, whether there's enough comfort, whether there is enough space, for example. Mars is in Virgo at this time in your 12th house. And we've got a connection between the full moon and Mars happening at this time. Of course, the nodes are also activated as well. This is generally a good time also for letting go of some unresolved feelings and emotions that are stuck in your subconscious, any blockages, any fears and phobias overall. But here we've got the sun shining in your area of career, where Jupiter is present as well for the next 12 months. So a great time for reinventing yourself, for being visible. This is a great time for being visible, for getting yourself out there, because opportunities come, especially here in your career, in your public life, in your outside world. New opportunities come when you get yourself out there, when you become visible, when you engage with other people. This is where you can actually meet new connections, or perhaps receive invitations, offers, and so on. Uranus is shaking up your area of the ninth house. So this looks like your beliefs, your life philosophy is completely transforming. You're liberating yourself from anything that is no longer in alignment with the new version of yourself that generally became very, very present during the cycle that we finished now this year, Aries and Libra cycle. So you've been through that South Node energy in your first house where you were letting go, removing the layers of yourself that no longer aligned. Now here, Uranus is shaking up the area of your beliefs, life philosophy, worldviews. And here, this is about freeing yourself from anything that isn't yours, is not in alignment with who you are becoming. Saturn and Neptune, the first house, this yet again will play out differently for different people. This could indicate a brand new chapter for your relationship, a serious lasting chapter. Saturn will also most likely bring lessons, difficult lessons. I've been through this transit. Actually, my husband has. I will be going through this transit from 2028. It's not an easy transit, but it's basically when things from the past come back from this to the surface. It could be also unresolved karmic lessons as well. Lots of learning how to deal with one-to-one connections, generally with in relationships, partnerships, but it doesn't have to be negative. It depends on the health of the relationship, let's put it this way. But at the same time, you will be attracting very different individuals, people into your life with Neptune and Saturn circulating around this area. And of course, Chiron is on its way out from your seventh house, about to move into the eighth next year. I actually created a post about this transit on my Substack account. So if you're interested, please join. All right, so a little bit about here these energies, but overall here. It's about generally finding more comfort, more happiness, fulfillment in this area of Capricorn of your home. All right, so thank you very much, Libras. Now, Scorpio, Scorpios, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so as a fellow Scorpio rising, of course, I can tell you that since Saturn entered my sixth house, and of course, our sixth house, and that was at the end of May. Oh my gosh. My daily life responsibilities. It's not just, the cleaning and household duties. I'm not talking about this. But yeah, there is a lot of that as well. But overall, the daily reality and the school activities of my kids and my work and new projects I've been involved in, it's been so busy. The days have been going by so quickly. It's been crazy. But it's great, but it's just so much of it that, and it's just the beginning. It's not even a full transit. So I wonder, how are you dealing with it? How are you um generally, yeah, how you finding it? And Pluto in the fourth house has been difficult on the internal level, emotional, lots of difficult memories, traumas, phobias coming up, but at the same time giving an opportunity for healing as well. And I'm just sharing some perspectives here with you because, of course, I can see the Scorpio risings, and each rising, like um people with similar rising signs go through similar experiences. So of course now we are in the Virgo and Pisces cycle. So yes, there have been so many opportunities that came through networking, through getting out and meeting people, joining groups, and spending time with other people, usually networking. And Jupiter in the ninth house made me actually launch pre-launch a 6 weeks program, which I'm fully launching in September, which is receiving very good feedback and results. I'm excited about it. And Uranus is shaking the eighth house. I don't yet know what it will bring. It's still very early days. Hopefully, some nice financial gains. But All right, so what's going on with the full moon, the third house? The third house. I remember last year during the full moon in Capricorn, that was actually so traumatic. I ended a friendship. Well, it's I found out that someone was gossiping about me like really badly. So I had to move away from that connection. And now with this full moon, those memories, those energies came back to the surface. So I've been thinking about it and wondering, what this full moon could bring. Of course, it is about our mindset, our mind, memories, the way we think, how we think. So, of course, every difficult experience in our lives, we should treat it as a lesson. We shouldn't take it lightly. And because, Earth is not an easy place. We are not here we are here to have fun, of course, but actually, um, we are here to learn, evolve, and grow. And there are so many hard lessons here. So very often with the third house activation, this is connected to news, realizations, and anything to do with even a gossip. Hopefully, that's not the case for you because it's not pleasant at all. But what actually came up today, because yesterday I went to a networking event, which I go to every month, and I was someone actually offered or suggested we should collaborate. They are in a life coaching area, and there was another coach and myself, and they were talking about NLP, and I heard about NLP before, and I was interested in learning more at the time, but I kind of dived so deeply into astrology that I kind of forgot. But then today I was researching more about NLP, and I thought that would be an interesting thing to learn, subject to learn. It could help me with my next project and to understand, certain behavioral patterns and things from a much different perspective. So I'm probably going to be enrolling on this course. So that's here, short course connection to the third house. Perhaps you are learning something, perhaps you are expanding your skills, learning something new. It's a good time for doing so without a doubt, especially here with Saturn in the sixth house. This is about generally becoming a master of your craft. It's about also learning new skills. Why not if you're fancy it? Yes, so basically, we will also have a connection to the nodal axis, um, trine to the south node, trine to Mars in the 11th house, and also a sextile to the north node in Pisces in the fifth house. So at the same time, with the 11th house activation, this could be about also having some strong realizations about how you connect with others, how you network with others. And maybe it's time to let go and think about a different strategy. And I also had these realizations yesterday to step up my game when it comes to networking. And I also had this conversation with someone who are, I think they are organizing a retreat where they take people out of their comfort zone and they literally throw them into a jungle. I don't know. I kind of joined the conversation in the middle, and I thought to myself that, I've been so caught up in my life and I haven't done anything. I think I thought to myself, I need to do something crazy so that I can awaken the inner lion inside myself. But I think this is generally a full moon. I don't want to bore you anymore with my own experiences, but just giving you some examples. But what I think it is basically, if you get out into the world, you have these conversations with other people, and you might realize that perhaps the way you do certain things, it's no longer, it doesn't work anymore. It's no longer in alignment. Perhaps it's time to let go of some outdated ways of doing things. Even if it's about how you present yourself in a larger audience, in a in a group environment even as well. And at the same time, the sextile to the North Node in Pisces, it's about following something that is close to your soul, something that reconnects you with your inner child in a positive sense. All right, so thank you so much, Scorpios. And let's have a look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius, welcome. All right, so for you, this is happening in your second house. So money matters, your relationship with money, your personal values as well. So generally, this is a good full moon for clearing away any blockages, negative energies that stop you from um, earning what you deserve. And it's a good time for working with manifestations, for eliminating any money blockages, letting generally go of some outdated ways of thinking about, what you deserve, how to make money, how to budget, how to save, this sort of things. And overall, with the second house, it could be connected to making a major purchase, for example. This could be connected to finalizing a repayment plan. You might be making a literal purchase of something that perhaps is practical, something that will last for quite some time, that Capricorn energy. But also this full moon connects. And of course, this could be about a new job for some Sagittarians, because of course we are approaching the solar eclipse in the 10th house. Sometimes the eclipses are activated much sooner. This one has already been activated at the beginning of this year. An eclipse gets activated when the nodes cross the degree of the eclipse, and this eclipse that will be in your area of career in the second part of September would have already been activated around February, early February. All right, so that's on the side note, but with the full moon connecting with the south node and Mars by a lovely trine, and the north node in Pisces by a sextile, this is overall here. This energy overall supports career-related growth, and it boosts your confidence, it boosts your self-worth. So for some, this could indicate some good news when it comes to a new job or a new position, some interesting financial opportunities. Of course, Uranus is now in your seventh house, so yes, you seek more freedom in your relationships and more autonomy. It's an interesting time to observe this year to see how these energies can influence your life next year and onwards. So thank you so much. And let's have a look at Capricorns. Capricorns, welcome. Capricorns, this full moon, of course, is a very important full moon for you because it activates your first house, the area of the self, your identity, your physical appearance. And if you think about what happened in your life around 18 months ago, that would be a new moon in Capricorn that took place in January 2024. Think about new beginnings, any new beginnings that occurred in your life around that time, because this full moon could present some fruits of your hard efforts, but it could be also a time of a personal culmination. You're entering a new chapter in your life, and at the same time, with the full moon being a point of release, letting go, you generally letting go of anything that no longer aligns, doesn't resonate, whether it is some goals or expectations that you had for yourself or for your life. And it's generally let go of also of the pressure to be or to do everything for everyone. So if you struggle with people pleasing tendencies, then here it will come up, it may show up, come up around this time, but this is a great chance for really thinking it through, seeing it from a very different light perspective, if possible. Overall, here with the full moon in the first house, you become more aware of your needs, of what's working, what isn't in your life. What do you need to work on? What do you need to fix? And you become more aware of your goals, of your desires. We've got a beautiful connection with Mars in a Virgo in your ninth house, where also the South Node is present. Here again, this energy really motivates you to move forward and reach your goals, get closer to your purpose, and do something spontaneous. Maybe this could be about booking a trip away or signing up for a educational course or even a foreign language. So you've got this motivating energy pushing you to take charge of your life, to do something adventurous, to spread your wings, to engage in coaching, guiding, maybe learning astrology, traveling. Spontaneity is in the air, but at the same time, with the South Node being activated, this energy is about letting go of any beliefs, life philosophies that no longer serve you. It's a great time also for engaging in workshops, activities connected to personal growth, personal development as well. And of course, the sextile to the North Node here. This is about generally having new ideas about your life, about your mission. So Saturn and Neptune are in your fourth house temporarily, shifting the energies in the emotional side of your life, perhaps hinting at a possible need for renovate, to move, relocate, for example. And with Saturn, also pay attention because if something isn't working in your life, whether this is your fridge or not really working, if it's breaking down, fix it while it's still working, because with Saturn, whatever is breaking, it's going to break down basically. And with Neptune here, watch out for any leakages, water leakage. Yes, so I was just thinking, did I pronounce it correctly? I think I did. Jupiter in your seventh house, oh, a great time for attracting people into your life, engaging with like-minded people. I made some really interesting connections when Jupiter was in my seventh house. All right, so thank you very, very much. And let's move into Aquarius now. Aquarius, welcome. We've got a full moon activating your 12th house, a very introspective full moon, a good full moon for working with your emotional side of your life, with your inner world, with your mental health. It's a great time for journaling, for going on a spiritual retreat, for doing something spiritual, connecting with nature, journaling, meditating, reading. Calmness. You need calmness. You need to recharge yourself because Cancer season is a busy season for you. Jupiter is here as well, hopefully expanding your opportunities. This full moon wants you to retreat, find time to rest. You absorb other people's energies easily, so boundaries. Remember about creating healthy boundaries. And at the same time, it's a great time for healing. You might be facing some fears, limiting thoughts and energies, but here, taking it as an opportunity to let go, release, and overall here, give yourself permission to rest. And, you know, you don't have to justify everything. Just let go, rest, release. And of course, with the connection to the South Node in the eighth house where Mars is present, there's a lot of depth around you, but also you've got a fantastic opportunity to heal and to dive deep into your emotions as well. So, a wonderful time for recharging your energies and for preparing for the next full moon in Aquarius, which is all about you. Now, at the same time, with the South Node being activated in the eighth house, this energy helps you to release any toxic obligations or perhaps some expectations of others that are not even yours. So this full moon brings need for reflection, contemplation, healing as well. So thank you very much, Aquarius. And now Pisces. Pisces, welcome. This full moon activates your 11th house of friendships, groups, your long-term goals, plans, hopes for the future. This is when you might find yourself re-evaluating your connections in your life with certain groups, with certain acquaintances, friendships. This is also a full moon to be more practical or to become more practical, more realistic about your expectations when it comes to your goals, your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions for the future. And at the same time, during this full moon, you might realize that perhaps some connections in your life no longer align. Perhaps you might realize that a group that you used to belong to doesn't really resonate with the new version of yourself. Of course, the North Node is in your first house. So you are changing. You are redefining yourself. So we will naturally not resonate with the same people energies anymore. So this full moon might bring these strong realizations where you have outgrown certain communities, groups, for example, dynamics. So you might feel, if you've been feeling like you're not in alignment with certain connections, so with a direction that you're following, even this full moon might make you realize that actually you are out of sync and something needs to change. So allow yourself to take a break, to think, to reflect. Because here this full moon connects with Mars in Virgo by a trine. Mars can help you to gain clarity through others. So perhaps a conversation you will have with a friend, with a friend, with a client, with your partner might bring much needed clarity. But at the same time, the South Node being activated by this full moon in your seventh house might also make you realize that perhaps, um, you know, you didn't, perhaps you need to work harder on creating healthier boundaries with some people. Or perhaps you might realize that, you know, you need to let go and release any codependency or people-pleasing tendencies, which might become more apparent than usual around this time, especially since we've got the eclipse season coming up in September, which will activate the first and the seventh house axis in your birth chart. So here overall, what this full moon is wants you to realize is that you don't have to change to fit in into certain environment. You don't have to sacrifice anything to belong. You can move forward. You can find your tribe by being just your authentic self. All right, so thank you so much, Pisces, and all the best.